Look, kitty cat. You're in the way. Kiwi, look up here. Oh, look at that. Nope. There, look at that face. Whatever. Cat, you're so uncooperative. I'm back, YouTube. Hasn't been that long, but it has been more than a week, I'm pretty sure. But I have specifically set time aside today to do a video. And I am going out soon. Cat! She's walking all over the fucking place and driving me insane! Kiwi. Meow. I think she might be hungry. Anywho, today's topic is a request by Zeoniel. Zeoniel. Even though English is my major, you think I would learn how to pronounce things, but it's a differently spelt name, so I'm just going to assume that I'm saying it right. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the request from Zeoniel, who sent me a message that said, so I thought it would be cool and maybe funny if you did a rant video on guys, as in intergender relationships, you know? The dating scene. Your thoughts, observations, experiences, and things of that nature with the two little arrows that do the hee kind of face. Please think about it. Consider it maybe. I did subscribe to your channel twice. Not that you owe me anything. Well, I think I do owe you something because I appreciate the subscription, but... And have fun! Okay, let's see about that. Alright, so I'm one of those people that in high school... Well, okay, for... depending what years of high school we're talking about, but I was one of those people that I was single and gave advice to people until I ended up in a relationship, and then I dated for someone for 2 years in high school, and then that ended, and then grade 12 sucked, and now I have a new boyfriend, but that's all in the past. But normally, in ways of experiences, I'm not the person to talk to. I'm kind of good at giving advice to people, but that's how it usually is with single people, I think. And people are always like, well, how can single people give relationships on dating or anything like that when they haven't had those experiences? And really it comes down to, it's because single people or people who have been single before can kind of give, what's the word, a non-biased point of view, because in a relationship, you put standards most people put standards in a relationship, so you need someone who doesn't have those standards to kind of help you back up and look at something from a different perspective, or to agree with you and say, yeah, he was a fucking asshole, I can't believe he dumped you, etc., etc., etc. I think high school is officially the worst time to date. I mean, I know that's the time when all the raging hormones are going on and stuff, but, I mean, just statistically, not that I actually have any stats on lasting relationships, most relationships don't last through high school. Most people have several relationships in high school. I was definitely one of those people that I didn't want to date in high school because I knew that I didn't really think anything would last past high school, because my mom's a horribly negative person and taught me that lesson when I was very young. Most often... Actually, there is some of my coworkers right now who are in new relationships, long-lasting relationships, one that just ended a relationship. So I see a lot of people in the dating scene, as you would say. I'm currently kind of, I don't really know if you want to call it the dating scene. The dating scene? I'm just quoting Zeoniel here. I think people have different definitions of what dating is. I think... Traditionally, dating was getting to know the person, so you may not necessarily know the person very well. The whole point of dating is to get to know that person, and then, but then some people think that dating is also qualified as, like, the girlfriend-boyfriend stage, where, like, you're officially a couple and stuff. So everybody has their own definition of that, and my definition of dating is... I already know the person, and I want to get to know them as a boyfriend. Me, it would be boyfriend. But then at the same time, I've been with my current boyfriend for a while, and I don't know if we'd be considered dating. I mean, we hang out, but it's established that we're a couple now and all kind of thing, so I don't know, I just say I have a boyfriend. I don't say I'm dating somebody, because I don't know, people think of it different ways. There's one of my coworkers who just got a girlfriend, and I had several friends like him where they were single for a long time, and not my coworker wasn't bitter about it, but I have known people who are very bitter about seeing people in relationships. And Valentine's Day is obviously when you get all the drama on Facebook, screw Valentine's Day, etc., etc., or couples that don't stop telling each other they love each other on Facebook, which just goes to show how insecure they are, but that's just my opinion as
well. I hate couples that do that. I hate it so much. Like, it's adorable that you guys love each other and everything and you need to tell the world, but don't tell me. I really don't need to know. And really, when you think about it, when somebody feels they need to put it up on Facebook or the internet or just like tell everybody, it kind of makes you wonder what exactly they're trying to say or prove, and I hate it. And me being the considerate person that I am, I and my boyfriend as well, we hate, like, because we've both been single for lengthy periods of time before, and it sucks being that single person surrounded by people who are already in relationships or getting off of from a long-term relationship, and it can get messy, especially if you go to the same school as that person for a whole year after they broke up with you and started dating someone else. Yeah, you can tell that's my experience. But we don't like holding hands, or like, I mean, we would hold hands, but we don't do any of the PDA in front of our friends, because that's just rude. I mean, you're with other people, socialize with them. It's the same as like taking out your phone and texting when someone's in the middle of talking. Like, don't do that. It's just rude. So we don't do that kind of thing, but those couples that do, there's a couple at one of my birthday parties, and they were standing in the corner being like, I love you, no, I love you more, and it was... I hate that. Don't ever do that. If you're one of those people that has ended up in a relationship after a long time of being bitterly single, it's great. I mean, if your friends should be happy for you and stuff, but they don't need to hear every single update and detail about your new relationship, because people can be happy for you, but they don't need to hear every detail, because most people don't care about every detail. They just want to know that you're happy. End of story. That's all I need to know. I just need the umbrella emotion. That's fine. I notice as I'm talking, the iPad slowly leans over and over more until I'm going this way. But, yeah, so I don't really have much to say on the dating scene just because I have limited experience. That bitter experience that I did have in high school, well, we made up after, so we're friends now. It helped that I didn't see him for like a year or two. Yeah, I think it was 2 years or so. Because I just wanted to punch him in the face, but that's all done. I'm good. And actually, that's the other thing. It's when there are bad breakups, there are some things people can't forgive, and depending on how much you were maybe into the relationship, that makes sense. I totally get that. But I think high school relationships, for sure, you're kids. I mean, if any of my viewers are high schoolers, don't take this the wrong way, but high school isn't everything. I mean, some people do, their relationships do last past high school, and that's brilliant. I love seeing that kind of thing. I know a couple, like 1 or 2 people who are still dating people that they knew in high school, and that's really sweet. But realistically speaking, it is low probability of staying together, because you change a lot through puberty. It's puberty. People change a lot, and when you go into the real world, like not real world, but when you become adults, get jobs, actually go to university and figure out what you want to do with your life, you become a very different person. You meet many new people, and it just, your world expands. So I don't like hearing some of my friends who still hate their exes from high school. And it becomes problematic when you meet up with friends from high school, be like, hey, yeah, let's hang out, we haven't seen each other in a while, and then people cancel because their exes get invited as well, and then that ex finds out that they were invited, and then none of them show up, and it's just fucking ridiculous. That's happened 2 or 3 times. It's so stupid. So yes, breakups can be awful, but personally with me, I mean, I made up with him and stuff, and everything's cool now, mostly because both of us are different people than we were then, and it was something forgivable. It wasn't a horrible thing. He did something awful, whatever. It was just feelings changed, and that happens, especially in high school when you're going through puberty. That's a big thing, and I think that's where the dating scene happens most of the time, trauma-wise. As an adult, I can't, well,
not that I'm really an adult, but as you get older, obviously I wouldn't know. I met my boyfriend in class. Actually, here's one thing. I don't like it when people push to look for somebody. And when I say that, I mean when people like sign up on like the online dating sites, or they go to like singles parties where you're meant to kind of find somebody, or go searching at a club, which I think is like the worst idea ever. Because why would you want to meet someone when they're drunk? Anyway, this is me personally, and I've heard some people snap at me for saying this, but I just don't see the point in going and looking for somebody, because when you do, you put standards out there. So it's like, oh, I want to find someone that's funny, smart, pretty. Pretty is usually the biggest factor. It's usually the biggest problem. That kind of thing. I don't like doing that, because I don't want to limit myself, because when you limit yourself and only look for specific things, you automatically eliminate potentially good things and other traits that you may not know you like, or find someone that, let's say, I don't know. I can't really think of an example right now because I don't know. I don't know some of the standards that people put on things. Like my current relationship, it just kind of happened. We met each other in class. We had the same there's like a group of people we worked with in that class, and then we all wanted to do study group together, and then everybody else ditched. So it was just me and him, and then because of that time we spent together, we found that we liked each other. I initially I wasn't that into him at first. If he ever sees this, I love you. But I didn't expect it to happen, and then it did, and now it's wonderful. How long have we been dating? I don't even know. I'm not one of those people that keeps track and has like every month anniversary kind of thing. I don't do any of that stuff. But I think from what I've seen, the relationships that start unexpectedly are the best ones. Not that any of the other ones are bad, but they just seem to be more natural. And I think that's being poetic, more beautiful in a sense. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be in a relationship and looking for somebody. There's nothing wrong with that, because just as humans, we want to be in relationships, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think when you try too hard, people can see that, and you become a different person as well. When you're obviously trying to look better or act differently to attract somebody, that's not being honest. And how can you really find someone that likes you when you're not being yourself? I don't know if that's clear or not, but that's what I mean. I don't want to see some of my friends that do this a lot. Like, I don't want to see them get into a relationship with someone that sees them as something as they're not, and then there be a horrible breakup because they're like, you're not the person I first met, yada yada yada, all that kind of drama. It's so painful. Just my personal advice: be who you are, let it happen naturally. I mean, maybe if you're not in a place where there may be potential partners, then yeah, go out, do different things, but don't look for it, if that makes sense. If not, I'll do another video. So, Zeoniel, I hope that's good, but if there's something more specific you'd like me to talk about, of course, message me again. I don't mind. This is just my personal experience and my ideas and that kind of thing. I do owe you, in a sense, I guess. If you subscribe twice, maybe I owe you 2 videos. I don't know. But in that sense, and if any of you people start commenting, asking for advice, I'll say again, I'm probably not the best person to ask. If you want my opinion, I'm happy to give it, but if you give me a situation like, oh, me and my boyfriend been dating for this long and I think he's cheating on me, I'll probably just tell you to just dump him, or her. Because if you don't fully trust someone, then what are you doing in the relationship? Free advice right there.